time off that's been your most important thing to try and reset everyone, or still get that little bit of work in them?
Yeah, it's both. You still need to obviously work, because if you don't do enough and then you go into a big semi-final, then you're not going to be conditioned for it in terms of, it's obviously you want to rest and recover the body of what they've been through, but also you don't want that first impact to be like, oh, I haven't felt that for a while. So it's just a matter of finding that balance, which we felt we got right. But the players, you can always tell through the way they sort of come into training and then approach sessions and what they do inside the session. And it was all positive today. They had a lot of energy, which is what we thought.
So as far as you go as a coach, do you buy into a week off being an advantage or not then?
Oh, it can be certainly an advantage if you take advantage of it in terms of, come out of the blocks as, firing. That's what you need to do. And I see a really good opportunity to do that after having a week off. I've said it previously that the last 2 years, both teams have gone through that have had the week off, but it's no guarantee. You've got to earn the right, and you've got to build it again, that's for sure.
How does it feel now that you've got the League Leaders Shield tucked away? Do you feel that maybe there's a certain amount of pressure off you?
That's in the past. We're just focusing on this weekend. That's the most important game for us now. Obviously, we've achieved that, and we'll have time to reflect on that at the right opportunity, after the season. But it's all around, this weekend. So, when you talk about pressure, any semi-final is going to have pressure, no matter who's playing in it. Whoever wants to say who's favourite or not, both teams are under pressure, because if you lose, you're out. So, we're approaching this game as the most important, because it's the next game. We've been in this position many times this year, obviously playing in the Challenge Cup. So, we've shown that we can handle that, and it doesn't change for us. It's, the way that we want to play is no different to how we've approached Challenge Cup games, because we're aware. You don't talk too much around if you lose, you're out. You're aware of that. So we've got a game plan and the way that we want to approach this game, which is pretty similar to a lot of other games.
How much have you drawn on the experience of previous semi-finals then for this one?
No, not yet. Obviously, it's we're still building our week. The players are aware of that now. They've played, in the last 2 years, they've played in a Challenge Cup final, played in a prelim to get in the Super League final. Last year, we made a semi of the Challenge Cup, and we've played in the grand final last year, and obviously, won a Challenge Cup this year, and now we're playing in another semi-final. So the point is that, majority of the players are used to big games now. So, they understand what it takes in terms of prep, and more importantly, it's about what you do on the day. So we need to deliver that again. There's no guarantee that you're going to deliver a performance if you rely on what you've done in the past. It's about using, I suppose, what we value, and making sure that we do that for 80 minutes, because that's the most important thing. You want to go out and you put in a performance that you're proud of, your fans are proud of, and we know what that looks like. So it's just a matter of doing it now.
There will be, I guess, a level of expectation from your fans, but how good is it to have that home advantage this weekend?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's the last time that we get to play at home in 2025. So, it's a great opportunity for us, because we do have, a home semi-final. So, it's important that we take advantage of that. And again, how do you take advantage of that? It's through your actions and through the way that we know we can play. We've started that through our prep. So obviously it's about delivering that on match day.
So as far as your team goes for this weekend, there was a suggestion that Mickey McAlora might be fit. How is he? Is he close?
He is. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see the back end of the week. He did get through some training today, so you'll need to tick a couple more things off to be playing. So, yeah, I can't give an answer at the moment to say yes he is or no he's not.
And how's Joe Burgess?
Yeah, Joe got through the session today, so Joe will be fine. He's ready to go.
You must have a bit of a headache selection, do you, for this weekend? Obviously, Oliver Gildart came back before your break as well, came back into the mix. So how much is going through your mind at the moment about who play where? Yeah, it's a difficult one. Obviously, majority of the squad, in a healthy shape, which is what you want. You want these headaches. It's unfortunate that players have to miss out. But it's about the next 2 weeks. Hopefully
we've got 2 more games is about the team, and majority of the squad have played a massive part, and the ones that haven't played, in terms of first team, have played a part at training. So it's difficult every single week to pick a team, but certainly this week, because there's players in the team that should have, that should be in terms of what they've done throughout the year, but we can only pick 17 players.
Is it someone like Jack Broadbent that maybe falls into that category, who's done a job in numerous positions for you this year, but I don't know, maybe wouldn't be in your starting 13, let's put it that way?
Oh, we'll wait and see the back end of the week. But, yeah, I mean, there's a number of players that, as I say, that could be in the team and have been in the team that possibly won't be in the team. So we'll wait and see.
If we can chat about Mikey Lewis for a few minutes now, obviously signing that long-term deal, how good is it to get him tied down? Yeah,
it's massive. I said it, when we sent out the media release. Obviously, it's huge for us, but it's massive for the game. In general over here, to lose players over the NRL at the moment with they're getting more teams over there. So there's going to be more interest in the players over here. But to keep, your Mikey Lewises and your players like that, it's massive for the game over here. And he's committed to the club for 5 years, and he's a father now, and he's growing as a person all the time. And I think that was obviously a major part of his decision as well. As he loves the club and wants to be here, and he said it. He wants to leave a legacy of his own. But certainly, the growth off the field and what his responsibilities are certainly help make that decision easier for him. But he's here for the right reasons, that's for sure.
How much more potential do you feel Mikey Lewis has got in his game?
Yeah, I still think there's a lot of growth for him. Mikey's growing as a player all the time, but it's the thing with Mikey, you can't teach what Mikey's got, but he can certainly learn what others have got. In terms of like Nathan Cleary and guys like that who are extraordinary game managers, like they just know how to come up with the big plays and they can play for play and have a reason for of why they do things. And Mikey's certainly improving there, but it's that sort of part side of the game where if he's obsessed to get better, then it's going to be who knows where his ceiling is, because as I said, there's things in Mikey's game that you can't teach, but there's areas that he can improve, which you can learn, and that's just studying the game, studying opposition players, talking to different people, possibly going to other organisations and seeing what the star players are doing and that type of thing. It's, if he wants to grow and develop, then he'll get better.
I'm aware it might not be for you to answer this question, but if an NRL club did show any interest in him, is there any clause in his contract that would still allow that?
Look, I don't know. It's for me to say, but my understanding of it is that he's here for 5 years, and that's it. He's committed to the club to stay at Hull KR for the next 5 years. So, let Mikey and Paul Aiken give you exact details. But my understanding of it is that he's committed to the club because he wants to be here for the next 5 years, and as I said, he wants to leave his own legacy on this club.
So let's look at the game itself then on Saturday evening. St Helens, an incredible finish to that game against Leeds. I assume you watched that, did you?
Yeah, of course, a couple of times. Obviously you got to plan and prepare, and it was a game that obviously that'll be shown now, highlights reel for many years to come. But it just shows the fight that the Saints have got. Obviously Leeds hard done by, certain things that happen afterwards and decisions and all that, but at the end of the day, St Helens are coming to play us this week, and we fully respect what they bring and what they're about. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
Can a game like that, a finish like that, as rare as they are, have some sort of emotional effect maybe on a side?
I'm not sure. You have to ask them, I suppose. We've had a week off. We watched their game, and it's probably a question for their side. So
where do you feel that this one can be won and lost for Hull KR?
Look, as I said before, we just want to go out and play our style and play how we've trained all year and what we've done consistently throughout the year. And I think that's the most important thing for us. It's semi-final, so we need to make sure that we're happy to win the game in the last second or whatever it was that they won the game. That's the important part is, when you're playing in big games, it's not about trying to go win the game in the first 10 minutes or 20 minutes. It's not how semi-finals are won. You've got to build games and be happy and prepared to win, similar to what we did in the Challenge Cup, and that's how we prepare for big games. So there's a mental side or mentality side that you need to to approach the game in, and we're certainly doing that.
Brilliant. Thanks, Willie. Good luck.
Cheers, Sharon. Thank you.
Yeah, Willie, how are you doing?
Hey, James. I'm well, mate. You?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Just on St Helens, do you take confidence from your record against them this year and beating them 3 times effectively at their own game?
No, I don't. I don't. We haven't looked at the past. Obviously, we've looked at the games that we played them, but I think St Helens have built over the course of the year. They went on a good run, didn't they, where they won a number of games, and we played them here not long ago, and we won 12-8. So that just shows how tight, close the two teams are, and how much improvement they've had. So, I'm not looking so much at what we've done in terms of scoreboard, but certainly in terms of areas that we think that we can expose them and how we handle them. We've looked at that, and that's how we've approached it.
Given you've had the week off and what they went through last week, is winning that energy battle a non-negotiable?
Well, whoever wins, that middle third battle, I think, will have a big say in the game. So you're going to have two teams or two big packs going at it, strong packs going at it. Both teams will have energy. I'm sure of that. It's a semi-final, so it's whoever's willing to stay in the fight the longest, I think, will come on top.
There's been a lot of talk about your energy levels. You've spoken about in previous weeks. Where are they at now after this period that you've had?
Let's have a watch on the weekend, and we'll be able to say where they're at. It's something that's been spoken about, and I've answered questions around it, but I'm certainly not going to answer any more questions because it's about what we deliver this weekend, and then you can say whether their energy levels were up or they weren't. That's up to you what you want to write. All I'm looking at is what our energy levels are like, been all training, all week so far, and I'm happy where they're at. But it doesn't matter what they're at, what they're like today. It matters what they're like on Saturday. So you guys can, obviously decide that.
No, absolutely. But you're happy where the group is physically and mentally at the end of a long season. I
am. We're in a semi-final, James. So we're in a decent spot, mate. It's about going to do the job on the day.
Yeah, I just wonder what you made of this, just moving away from OKR, this ticket row between Wigan and Leigh with Derek Beaumont seemingly threatening to pull out. What do you make of all that?
Oh, look, it's none of my business. I've only heard a little bit about it. But yeah, all I'm focused on is getting our players prepared for Saturday.
Yeah, obviously you'll play the winner of that game. Do you feel it does spoil the build-up, for want of a better word, and when the focus should be on two great games coming up?
I'm only focused on our game. I'm sure that game will go ahead, and the winner will play the winner of us. So hopefully that's us, and that's all I'm worried about.
Yeah. Can it be distracting though for players and coaches when all this is going on in the background? It's not ideal semi-final practice.
I think you're best asking Wigan, mate, and Leigh players and coaches because, I don't know about it. As I said to you before, I only briefly heard about it, and If I'm a betting man, which I'm not allowed to bet on rugby league, I'd be saying that the game will go ahead, and that's it. That's all I've got to say on it. Yeah,
just one final one. It's the same date as last year's semi-final. If you believe in good omens.
Oh no, I don't believe in that. But I'd like the outcome to be the same. That's for sure. So a lot of hard work to do before then. We know what team will be coming to Craven Park, but. I certainly know, and I'm very confident in the team that will put out on the weekend as well.
Oh, good stuff. I only know that because it clashes with my wife's birthday again, and she's a bit miffed about it all. But there we go. I'll pass you on.
Take her out for lunch. Take her out for lunch, mate.
Yeah, cheers.
Hi, Willie. It's Gary. All right.
Hey, guys. Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Just ask you a couple on Mikey. You'll know what the feeling is in the NRL, perhaps more than anyone. Was the interest in Mikey, did he get a bit more than interest? Was there any sort of firm approaches or talks or anything? Or did any clubs indicate they wanted to talk to you about him?
Oh, I think that's probably a question for Mikey's manager, Craig. But there was certainly interest. There's certainly no doubt that Mikey's created a lot of interest in the NRL. But yeah, in terms of offering contracts and all that sort of stuff, he's been contracted to us. But I believe in the past he probably could have got out. Where now, my understanding is that Mikey's staying for the next 5 years at Hull KR.
And you said before about him perhaps going to other organisations to see how their best players work. I mean, would that sort of be organisations outside of rugby league, the sport, like going to football or cricket or wherever?
Yeah, it's more just around. I mean, as coaches, what we like to, a lot of the coaches would go to, other organisations that obviously outside rugby league, and go see how they're doing things and different systems. And yeah, you always pick up. You're always learning from others. Sometimes it's not what to do, but it's more around for Mikey is to go pick some brains of other people that, and it might be rugby league, it might be, I'm sure it's not going to be anyone over the other side because, he'll be playing them soon. But I'm just saying, you can always learn. I learn off other head coaches. You see how other head coaches are doing things and you can pick things up regardless of whether it is a rugby league, rugby union, like you said before, whether it's cricket. It's for Mikey, it's what's his best prep look like? What extras does he need to do? We can give him what we think and what we believe. He's got an understanding at a certain level now, but Mikey's in 4 or 5 years' time is going to be a far better player than what he is now, providing he wants to keep growing because he's grown so much in the space of 4, 5, 6 years, whatever he's been playing. It's important that he just he wants to seek to get better every day, and if he does that. There's no doubt he'll improve.
There's things that perhaps he could learn about being a top player from, like football, where the media spot is a lot bigger, and even rugby union, things like that. Would that be sort of like the main sort of areas he could sort of learn about, about being a top player and how to be a top player? Yeah,
I think it's more around, because obviously the media in rugby league is different to football. They're, obviously they've got the shows and under a lot more scrutiny. But in saying that, we do as well over here. But it's more. I think it's more around, how those guys think. What's their approach like? How do they handle different situations? It's experiences, but being under the spotlight, like you've said. But Mike, obviously he cops it a lot from different fans and stuff like that. But it's not so much around that. It's because I think he's got a pretty good grasp of. Of that's going to be his way, whenever he goes to an opposition club now, because of the player that he is, he's going to cop a fair bit. So, yeah, it could be parts of that. It's more around, as I said, what it takes to be an elite player and stay on the top of your game for 10 years. But it's more importantly how to keep getting better. That's the important part. If he doesn't want to seek to get better, he's going to stay the same, and Mikey won't want to do that. He's going to want to get better. So the only way you're going to get better is by learning and developing and educating yourself on whatever it is. So I think as Mikey gets older, he'll find what he needs and what he wants to, or how he wants to get better.
Just lastly for me, is that something you as a coach and you as a club can encourage him to do? Is that something purely he can sort out?
Well, we can help, but it's basically the individual. It's an individual. It's, if an individual wants to find ways of getting better, as I said before, like at the end of the year, it's important that our staff, my staff and everyone here goes out and finds ways that they can improve, for 2026, because otherwise if we don't improve, it's either through reading books, meeting people face-to-face, as I said before, going to other organisations, doing courses, whatever it is, it's important for players to do that as well and in a different approach. And who knows, it could be for Mikey as well, could be working out ways to get away from rugby league as well and have other interests or whatever it is, mate. It's certainly up to the individual and what your needs are, that's for sure.
Well, cheers, Willie. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Cheers, guys.
Hey, Willie.
Sorry, who's that?
Matt, you all right?
Hey, Matt.
Just wanted to ask you about Jared and Mickey. Obviously, both of them coming to the end of their careers. You brought them in for games like this, didn't you? These were the big game experiences you wanted them to be around for. How much
of a role do they play in these matches? Not so much on the field in the 80 minutes, but today, tomorrow, the warm-up, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, Mickey, we're hoping he's going to play, so he needs to tick off a couple more things before playing. But certainly in team meetings, they've probably been the most vocal that they've been for a long time, which is a really good sign, because that's what you want. You want your most experienced players being the most vocal because they've been through it. So, they've played a major part in that throughout the season, which people sort of don't see. They only sort of see what they've done on the field, but certainly in and around the place, they've added a lot. So nothing's changed this week.
I get the impression they're not particularly emotional people. I can't imagine. Do you, in any way, have to manage their emotions of it being potentially the last game? Hopefully not for them. 2 more games. Is there any of that with them that you've spoke to them about?
No, I said to Jared yesterday. I saw Jared at our kids' school event, and basically I said, it's just flown. We spoke about, but then we want to go into it because we don't want this week to be the end type thing. But there's no doubt it's it's coming to an end in terms of hopefully it's going to be in a couple of weeks' time. But they've literally got 2 more weeks, we hope, with the group, and then their careers are finished. I don't want to go too much into it now because it's we're hoping to obviously get through this week, but certainly they've added a lot to us, and they've played a major role in us being able to win 2 trophies and hopefully chasing a third, and we're in a position to anyway.
Do you think when Jared goes back to the NRL, he's going to be a good endorsement for Hull KR? Because he's been glowing about his time at the club in terms of player recruitment and all, I suppose for Super League as well. Do you think he's going to be quite handy even when he technically has no association with the club again?
Look, we hope that anyone that comes to Hull KR will have a good experience. Look, everyone's experience is different, and because of the way the game is and salary cap and recruitment, some people leave obviously for different reasons and probably don't leave as happy as others. But majority, what we obviously pride ourselves in is no matter who comes to Hull KR, that they feel valued and part of a family. That's the environment and culture that we want. And obviously Jared's the one that you need to speak about. Of have we achieved that or have we not? Basically, but he's as I said before, he's added so much to us, and we've got another another game this week and hopefully another one after that. So it's not done yet.
Brilliant. Cheers, Willie.
Thanks, Matt.
Hi, Willie. Hope you're well.
Hey, mate. How are you been?
Good, thank you. Just how did you come to the decision to give the players such a long time off after the last game of the season? Did you sense that they maybe needed that bit of rest, that bit of time with the families?
Yeah, absolutely. They've played every single week, and they've had 1 week off since Feb. So it was. We did something similar last year as well. But again, we played nearly every game last year. We missed the Challenge Cup. But yeah, they certainly need a rest. So I've got no in terms of energy levels and all that sort of stuff. I knew where they were at, but it's been ongoing. This thing about energy and all that. We've had a break now. We're in a really good spot because we've had the week off. It's an advantage if you handle that the right way. So, but certainly I knew where they were at and knew what they need, and that's why I said there's a balance to get right.
I know there's been obviously a lot of talk about the sort of energy levels and things. Do you think the pressure over the last few weeks of the regular season of, getting over the line in terms of winning the league leads and finishing top and getting that monkey off your back, if you like, do you think that pressure paid as much, I don't know what the word is, but trouble to you as much as the energy levels?
I don't need to answer that, mate, because all I need to answer is questions about this week. We're in a position to play this week. Like, there's no point talking around the past. We've had the week off. We're preparing for a semi-final this week. So, I've answered all your questions, and it's not at you, but I'm saying in general, there's been so much around this. Let's just talk around the week ahead, and then you guys can write what you want after the game. If we have no energy, write whatever you like. But we're going to be playing against a team that are very hungry as well, and they're coming here to win, and we're making sure that we play the way that we can play, and that's all we're focusing on. I don't want to answer any more questions around 2 weeks ago. I'll answer any question you want around this week.
Let's talk a little bit about Saints then. What have you made of them on the whole? I mean, it's been a really up and down year for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think Saints have improved as the season's gone on, and Saints are a team that they showed on the weekend that they're never beaten, and that's Saints' DNA, isn't it? That's what they're about. So, look, we understand what teams come in this week. They're physical. They like to be aggressive with their defence, and we do as well. So you're going to have two teams that are going at it. And as I said before, I think the middle third's going to be where it's won. Whoever wins that battle, I think will go on to win the game.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Paul Wellington and his future. I understand it's not your focus or your concern, but what would be your take on that situation?
In what way, sorry, mate?
Because there's a lot of talk about Paul Wellington and whether he'll stick around beyond the end of Saints' season and whether he'll sign a new deal. What's your take on that?
It doesn't. I mean, it's not anything to do with me. I don't make the decision, obviously, but I do respect Wello, and I think Wello's a very good coach, and you can see that. The way the team plays and performs every week in terms of their effort levels and how hard they compete. And he's a legend of the club, so he's doing a very good job.
Cheers, Willie. Good luck.
Thanks, Ben.